Welcome to another episode, everyone. The day Big U found out how dangerous Suge Knight really was. Well, DJ Quick and MC8 had a war going on in Compton. Two rappers, a rap beef turned deadly. And they had some sort of party going on, and an individual from 60s pulled up to the party. He ends up getting stomped out, and he ends up dying, the individual from Rolling 60s crib. Suge Knight apparently, reportedly, allegedly was right there during the incident and was egging it on. Hence, Big U then found out that Suge Knight was not an individual that perhaps he wanted to go to war with. Now, people are taking sides, saying that Suge Knight would have demolished Big U, that Suge Knight is a gangster, and that Big U is just a gang member. Others say that these two individuals are friends and that there's nothing to compare here. But many individuals apparently appear to have Suge Knight's back in this situation more than Big U. People are apparently disenchanted with Big U and the latest allegations against him and are taking sides. And even though Suge Knight is nothing more than a bully himself who did nothing but terrorize individuals and terrorize the industry, individuals are saying that they ride with him over Big U.
Big U might just be the most hated man right now with all the wild allegations stacked against him, from being accused of running a full-on mafia-style operation in LA and extorting rappers.
Gene Henley Jr., a career criminal known as Big U, who used his contacts and leadership role in the Crips criminal street gang, the entertainment industry, to further his own criminal enterprise. An enterprise engaged in murder, extortion, robbery, human trafficking, COVID fraud, and other felonies.
To allegedly being the mastermind behind Nipsey Hussle's death.
Big U ain't in the hood when Nip come through the hood. The little homies ain't looking at Big U, they looking at Nip, cuz. Yeah, Nip was getting bigger than the set, cuz. And don't nobody get bigger than the set is what I was told. So they killed that.
And with everything that's coming to light, people can't help but wonder, could a higher power have put Big U in his place? Let's dive in. There's no doubt that Big U is a boss in the streets, especially as the leader of the Rollin' 60s Crips. But a lot of people can't help but wonder, if Big U had ever crossed paths with Suge Knight, would Suge have put him in his place? After all, Suge was once considered the most dangerous and gangster CEO in the industry.
Suge Knight is a mythical figure.
The controversial CEO of Death Row Records.
The most feared figure in all of hip-hop.
His size was intimidating.
Knight had been on probation for a 1992 on two aspiring rappers.
In an interview, Big U claimed that if he hadn't gone to prison when he did, Suge wouldn't have been able to run the streets.
I don't know why he keeps showing Whack 100 when he says Big U. He showed Whack 100 in the picture, now showing him sitting down doing an interview when he's talking about Big U. That's not Big U, for the record. For the people who may not know, that is Whack 100, not Big U.
With Death Row.
Were you out when Death Row started to build up and Corrupt started?
Not at all.
You were in jail the whole time?
Never happened when I had no Death Row.
What do you mean?
I love Suge to death, but he definitely wouldn't have been moving around LA like that.
According to him, Suge and his crew were only able to move the way they did because of the riots and the unity that came from that era.
What was able to give rise to Suge, to the growth and Suge to move like he was the riots. The unity from the riots and dudes not tripping and wanting to gaming on each other.
Now, no doubt Big U was a monster in the streets back then, and the Rollin' 60s were a force to be reckoned with.
Big U was a monster in the streets at that time. Then he was more reactionary and proactive with the cripping. And, 60s are a major force.
But a lot of people aren't buying that he could have really checked Suge. If anything, they believe it would have been the other way around. Because let's be real, Suge's reputation speaks for itself. Intimidating, ruthless, and a straight-up bully.
He's a beast, he was a bully.
Good night, how you doing? Don't kill me. All right,
I'm talking about slap men hard. I'm talking about an open fist across their face.
People say he was the type of guy who could walk into a room and have everyone shook.
First time I ever seen Suge Knight with my own eyes, I was at the Vibe Awards, right? And the man walked in and everybody got scared.
And a big reason for that was his crew. Suge surrounded himself with mob Piru members, some of the most dangerous dudes in LA. He also had ties with other deadly gangs and wasn't afraid to use them for intimidation. Just look at what happened when 50 Cent was filming in Da Club. Out of nowhere, someone shouted, "Suge's outside." That one sentence sent the whole set into chaos.
He came, it was like, Suge's outside! Suge's outside! Everybody, he was running, dropping, like, man, everybody going, I'm in front of the camera like this.
And Suge didn't pull up alone. He rolled deep, bringing around 30 men, reportedly members of the 18th Street Gang.
Suge came, he had some Mexican. Now, we from New York. You ain't never seen a nigga with a tattoo on his forehead. 118th Street crew. I'm like, what the got a tattoo on his face, homie?
Now, these guys weren't just some random street gang. They were one of the most violent and notorious in the entire country. Law enforcement even described them as one of the most prolific criminal organizations in the U.S.
One night involving 18th Street and rival gangs, March 15th this year. At 6 p.m., 5 men shot on Hillcrest. 30 minutes later, a man is shot 3 times, a 16-year-old shot twice. Then at 8:30, the same night, 2 more gang-related shootings.
Another example of how Suge Knight and his crew weren't to be messed with is when one of their own took out a Rollin' 60s member. This went down during the beef between MC8 and DJ Quick.
The whole El Rey Theater incident in 1995, where the brother from Rollin' 60s got stomped to death. I think his name was Bo.
Oh, well, I know him as Kelly Jamerson.
On March 13th, 1995, after the Soul Train Music Awards, Death Row threw an after-party at the El Rey Theater in LA. What was supposed to be a celebration turned deadly when Kelly Jamerson, a Rollin' 60s Crip, pulled up with his crew. Things got heated fast, and a fight broke out between Jamerson and several Bloods, including DJ Quick. But this wasn't just a regular brawl. Jamerson was beaten with chairs, bottles, and stomped out by a whole mob.
The melee started between everybody, just the Pyroots and pretty much any Quicks that will get, or any Crips that will get involved. And that's how they got stumped out.
Eyewitnesses later claimed that Suge Knight stood by watching the whole thing go down and even shouted, "Y'all get that dude." Jamerson's injuries were brutal. He was rushed to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center and placed on life support. Sadly, he didn't make it. He passed away the next day. So yeah, people feel like if Big U ever had an issue with Suge would have handled him. No question. In fact, considering all the things...
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, perhaps Big U found out how dangerous Suge Knight was on that day when the individual from Rollin' 60s got stumped out, as he just detailed, and lost his life. But Suge Knight is not the one that stumped him out, for one, even though reportedly, as he just narrated, that Suge Knight was there and egging it on. But I'm not so sure. I mean, at that time, Big U, well, not really at that, well, somewhat at that time, but Big U, he's considered by the feds anyway, according to the federal paperwork, I don't know, to be a real leader, someone respected and revered, whereas Suge Knight was really, if anything, paying for his protection, was not really a Mob Piru member, affiliated, associated, like Snoop Dogg is associated with the Rollin' 20 Crips from Long Beach, but not really necessarily a member. Suge Knight was playing football, he was not really a member, whereas Big U was really considered a member, where Suge Knight was paying for his protection, and that's not really love and respect when it's all said and done. It's paid protection, whereas someone like Big U may really have a certain level of respect where he's from, where if a beef were to occur between the two, he may have the upper hand because of the love and respect that he has in his neighborhood, as opposed to someone like Suge Knight, who's more paying for his protection. But at the same time, the fact that Suge was paying for that protection, he had a lot of dangerous individuals around him, surrounding him, and certainly could have taken care of some business.
Big U has been accused of, a lot of people would probably love to see Suge Knight beating his and that desire is even stronger now. On Wednesday, March 19th, federal authorities swooped in, arresting Big U and several alleged members of the Rollin' 60s neighborhood Crips, including rapper and No Jumper affiliate Brick Baby. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Central District of California, Big U was not just a high-ranking member of the gang. He was running it like a full-blown criminal empire under the name Big U Enterprise. The indictment accuses him of a laundry list of serious crimes: murder, extortion, robbery, fraud, illegal gambling, and many more.
Eugene Henley Jr., a career criminal known as Big U, who used his contacts and leadership role in the Crips criminal street gang, the entertainment industry, to further his own criminal enterprise. An enterprise that engaged in murder, extortion, robbery, human trafficking, COVID fraud, and other felonies.
But one of the most shocking accusations ties Big U to a brutal murder from 2021, the killing of aspiring rapper Rayshawn Williams, who was actually signed to Big U's own label, Unique Music. So what happened? Big U had flown Williams out to Vegas to work on music, but at some point things went left. Their schedule changed unexpectedly, and that sparked tension between them. But it didn't stop there. Williams allegedly recorded a diss track aimed at Big U, and not long after that, he was dead. His body was found dumped in a ditch near a landfill, and it was clear this wasn't just some random killing. He was shot in the face with a revolver, and whoever did it made sure to leave no shell casings behind. It gets even crazier. A witness later claimed that Big U showed up at the studio that morning, looking drenched, either in sweat or something else.
They do say that part of the investigation involves the murder of another young rapper back in Las Vegas. That the murder was over, are you ready for this? A diss. That he had written something in a song supposedly talking bad about Big U, and that is why he ended up getting murdered.
But Big U's legal troubles don't stop at violent crimes. Turns out he was allegedly running major financial scams, all while hiding behind the image of community work. And to make things even crazier, NBA superstars like Draymond Green and Shaquille O'Neal got caught up in the mess. Both athletes, thinking they were doing something good for the community, donated $20,000 each to Big U's nonprofit, Developing Options. The idea was simple: help at-risk youth in Los Angeles, fund programs to keep kids off the streets, and actually make a difference. But that's not what happened. According to prosecutors, Big U wasn't using that money for the community. He was using it to line his own pockets. And it doesn't stop there. Big U's nonprofit was deeply involved with the city's Gang Reduction and Youth Development Grid program, an initiative designed to steer young people away from gang life. The city trusted Developing Options, even sending them a total of $2.35 million between 2018 and 2023 to support their efforts. But now, the feds are saying a huge chunk of that money never actually made it to the community. Instead, Big U was allegedly paying himself hundreds of thousands of dollars straight from the funds, money that was meant to help struggling neighborhoods. Now, people are asking how much of the good work Big U was doing was even real, and how much of it was just a cover for straight-up fraud. Right before turning himself in, Big U jumped on Instagram with a bombshell claim. Wack 100 was behind all of this. According to him, Wack played a major role in bringing the feds down on him. He didn't provide any solid proof, but he definitely made it sound like Wack had been working behind the scenes to take him out. And if that wasn't enough, there's one thing that's really got people talking. This whole situation somehow circles right back to Nipsey Hussle's murder. For years, there have been whispers and speculation that Big U played a major role in Nipsey's.
Yeah, that's all it has been, is speculation and rumors and conjecture, individuals surmising, deducing that Big U has something to do with Nipsey Hussle's murder. Nevertheless, the feds say that there's nothing to see here. Big U had absolutely nothing to do with Nipsey Hussle's murder. Perhaps they had some strife, animus, beef, and perhaps he was happy that Nipsey Hussle died, or indifferent, didn't care, whatever. Perhaps one day would have did it, had it done, maybe. But on that particular day, they say that Eric Holder, who pled guilty, is responsible and solely responsible. The feds have investigated this thoroughly. They want to give Big U this murder case. You think they don't? They hit him with all these other charges. If there was any evidence that he had something to do with it, it was just really spur of the moment. There was no conspiracy. Eric Holder went over there, they got into it, and then what happened ended up happening. Big U is in, really, the lesson here is that this lifestyle is not conducive to success for anyone. Suge Knight, well, he's in prison, been in there for some time. He's perhaps coming home soon, should be coming home soon, but he's been in prison. He was in prison before after having all of that money, being successful, living his life, known as a bully, an individual who was a liability in the community, not someone with all of his talent and force and power that did anything to contribute something positive to the community. And so his legacy is then warped. And so is Big U's now at this point. Big U also locked up, facing a lifetime in prison, the rest of his life in prison. So it doesn't end well for anyone that's living this sort of lifestyle that has people checking in or bullying people or beating people or killing people or causing destruction in the community. It ends horrifically for everyone. Individuals lose their lives, and then other individuals go to prison for the rest of their lives. So no one comes out on top. So at the end of the day, it's best to take care of your family, take care of your wife, take care of your kids. Go and live life with them. Go places, do things. What the hell is hanging out in the street, particularly at the age of 50, 55, 59 years old? You out in the street still being a member and bothering people and having, no way. The arrested development of the black man. At some point, we have to grow out of it. I'm gonna leave it there because he's talking about what Big U was in prison for. We know what he's in prison for already. Are in jail, and he's fighting a case. He hasn't been found guilty of anything. But what say you between Suge Knight and Big U? I mean, most people are just going to say it doesn't matter. They were both bullies. Again, some people have said that they are friends. And apparently Big U found out how dangerous Suge Knight was on that day when an individual from Rolling 60s got stumped out and ended up losing his life. And then, so the story goes that Big U from there on didn't want any problems with Suge Knight because he was so dangerous. Well, all of these individuals are dangerous. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because, again, it's just destruction in the community. Whichever one would have came out on top, should they have had some sort of beef with one another, it wouldn't have mattered. It just would have been more lives lost. As it is, these two individuals are locked up fighting for their lives. At least Big U is fighting for his life. Suge Knight, of course, already knows his fate and, again, should be home soon. But he's been in there for some time. And the life that he could have been living and the life that he has been living, Suge Knight, over the past decade plus, is not good. And Big U, of course, is in line for the same thing, so it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, let's get out of the street, put the weapons down, take care of our community and our families. Let's try that. And if you're going to have someone check in and holler at Justin Bieber, make Justin Bieber check in. Not Future, but you're not doing that. Let me know what you think in the comments. Stay safe and stay free, people.